Hello everybody and welcome to Ian's Bricks. My name is Ian and today I'm going to be talking about Lego investing and specifically about investing in this theme here. This is called Monkie Kid. This is a set that was released by Lego in May of 2020, so it's a relatively new theme still to Lego, and they have a fairly limited number of sets available. I mean there's a reasonable amount, but there's not a huge amount of, say, like some of the themes, say like Star Wars or Harry Potter for example. And also another thing about this particular range of sets, especially in the UK at least anyway, is this range of sets is only available from Lego stores and lego.com. I think the idea behind this particular theme, Monkie Kid, is that it more really is designed for, I suppose, the Asian market, the Chinese market, where obviously the legend of Monkie Kid originally comes from. However, they are available, I think, these sets in most places around the world outside of Asia, but they are a little bit more difficult to get hold of. Now, when I buy sets to invest in Lego, obviously I'm looking for sets which are hopefully going to be appreciated in value once they retire. These are two sets that I've bought fairly recently. Both of these sets are on the retirement list for 2023. So we've got set number here. This is 80037. This is called the Dragon of the East. This probably isn't one of my most favourite sets, but again, I think it's okay. I do quite like the dragon figure that you get here, and you get a couple of nice little smaller vehicles as well which look quite good. But I do like this set probably more. Obviously it's a more expensive set. This is 80039. This is the Heavenly Realms, and obviously I like this because it's a larger set. It's sort of a thing you can probably play with a lot better. It's got a lot of things going on in there. It's slightly weird that you have these sort of printed card pieces here for the clouds, but I don't think that detracts from the set at all. So I just sort of wanted to show you that I have been buying Monkie Kid sets for Lego investment. Maybe not that many, just one or two here and there, but I just wanted to talk through the theme itself in general, how it's been performing so far, and how potentially this could go in the future, and is it really worth investing in this particular theme. So I wanted to read first of all, there's just a little write-up that Lego actually has on their website. So it says, based on the centuries-old Chinese legends of the Monkey King and the journey to the West, Lego Monkie Kid sets create a world of traditional heroes and villains for kids aged 4+ and for adults as well, whilst inspiring creativity and resilience. And it just sort of goes on to give some of the characters' names and things like that. The main ones, of course, are Monkey Kid, you've got the Monkey King, and also you've got Pigsy and Sandy and a couple of other characters as well. Back in the 1970s, in the late 70s, there was a kid show. It was a Japanese show. It was dubbed in the UK called Monkey Magic, if you've ever seen that. So I sort of remember the story of the Monkey King based on that particular thing back in the late 70s. Now obviously a lot of you aren't probably as old as I am, so maybe you don't remember that, but it was very popular at the time, and a lot of kids I remember at school used to talk about it. Oh, did you see Monkey yesterday? I can't remember what day of the week it was on, but I think it was on BBC Two here in the UK. It was dubbed, fairly badly dubbed actually, but yes, it was very, very popular at the time. Anyway, I digress. So this is obviously the story of Monkey King and the Journey to the West. Is a very, very old story. I sort of had a quick look on Wikipedia, and the story dates back many hundreds of years in various forms. So it is quite a well-known and popular story, sort of within China and Japan, and it's sort of very well known. Probably less well known over here in the UK and maybe the West, but certainly I think it's something that people are aware of. Now, Lego have also got a tie-in of a cartoon. And I think they've done about 4 series of this cartoon. It is available in the UK, so there is obviously a market. Kids will see this on TV. But what I quite like about this Monkey Kid theme is that yes, some of the sets are obviously designed for kids because that's going to be their prime market, but a lot of these sets are quite big and quite expensive, like this Heavenly Realms. I mean, this is £150 in the UK. This isn't a cheap set, and even a set like this I think was about £55, so they're not cheap sets. They don't do lots and lots of tiny small sets, so a lot of the sets do seem to be sort of middle to large size sets, which sort of shows me that probably the sets have got some adult appeal as well, and whenever I think you're buying Lego for Lego investing, you are looking at sets which are also going to be appealing to adults now as well as appealing to children, because that's where your market for reselling will come along, is that people will still want to buy things. If they appeal to adults, they will still want to buy these particular sets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of the sets which have already been out and have retired, and sort of show you what I found on, I looked at eBay sold prices. One thing I will say is there really weren't that many sets around. So I'm really looking at just a few sets being sold on Monkie Kid, but I have to say generally, looking at how the sets are performing, most of the sets are making a profit. There are one or two exceptions which I'll talk about, and most of them are making a decent profit. None of them seem to be going what I would consider stratospheric at the moment, but as I say, it's still early days. The first wave of Monkie Kid sets were released in 2020, and I'm pretty certain that the first ones didn't retire until December of 2021. So we sort of only really had, well, less than 2 years for those original retiring sets to actually appreciate in value. So anyway, the first set I want to talk about is 80007. This is the Iron Bull tank. Now this isn't a set that unfortunately I bought at the time. At the time it had a recommended retail price of £40 here in the UK, and I looked on eBay sold prices and they were going for around about £70 to £80. So that's not a bad return on investment. It's not fantastic. I mean, there are a lot of Lego sets which have gone up a lot more in value even since that particular period of time, but I think as a theme for Monkie Kid, I think that's actually not a bad performing set. Now you're almost doubling your money. If you can sell it for £80, then you'll be doubling your money, but even then, if you're selling on eBay with fees and things like that, the actual net profit that you're making from that isn't going to be fantastic. But it does show that these sets do sell well and will sell above value on the secondary market. One thing to point out, of course, because these sets are really only available in the UK, at least from Lego.com, is that you are really going to have to be paying recommended retail price when you buy these sets, because the only way you're going to get discounts is if you are going to be, for example, including things like your double VIP points, if you would get a double VIP points when you buy these, or just your normal VIP or insider points as they're now called, or if you maybe get some gifts with purchase and you sort of cost those gifts with purchase against the sale. I tend not to do that, or you use some of your insider VIP points to cash in to make the sets cheaper when you buy them. But most of the time you'll be buying these sets at recommended retail price, so that in itself may make things a little bit difficult, because you're probably going to have to hold on to these sets just a little bit longer, maybe 2 to 3 years, to get a decent return on these particular sets, so just be aware of that. Next set I want to talk about is 80009. This is Pigsy's food truck. Again, this is one I didn't invest in. I kind of kicking myself, because at the time when it was out I thought actually that could do quite well. It was a nice big vehicle with lots of things going on. There were like secret compartments and things. Recommended retail price is £55 here in the UK. Now I couldn't see any of these had sold as sealed and new in the UK. There was one that had sold which was second hand, and I think it was a complete set, and that had sold for £65. So even a used set is you're still making a little bit of profit on that. There was one that sold in the US, and that had an equivalent price of £110. So again, you're looking at almost double the price for this particular set. And again, I think this is quite a nice set. It's a good set. It visually looks quite nice as well. So I think that's probably why that one's done quite well. One set that hasn't done particularly well is 80016. It was called the Flaming Foundry, had a recommended retail price of £120 here in the UK, so quite a pricey set, and I could only really find a couple of sales for this one, but they were all around about the £95 mark, so that is actually quite a hit. Now, why isn't this set as popular as the other two sets? I don't know. I mean, me personally, I just don't think it looks quite as visually as exciting. It's not very colourful. It's kind of a factory, bit boring really when you think about it. So maybe that's all it was. Maybe it didn't feature heavily in the cartoons, who knows, but for whatever reason that particular set hasn't done very well. Now there's nothing to say that that set won't appreciate in value if you leave it another 1 or 2 years. That will probably be, eventually it will start returning a profit, but certainly for now it looks a bit of a dud, that one. So if you did buy that one for Lego investment, you might be a while before you're making your money back on that particular set. Now, looking at some sets that retired in December of 2022, so these have really only had about 8 months to appreciate in value, which isn't very long. So first of all, we have set 80013. It's Monkie Kid's Team Secret HQ. This is a set that I own. I've only got one of these, but I did like it. It was a big set. It's expensive. It's £150 was the recommended retail price in the UK. And at the moment, the eBay sell prices for these are around about £220, which is not a bad return on investment. It's a £70 profit. Percentage wise it's not the greatest, but it's still not bad for a set. And again, I liked this set. I liked how it fitted together. All the components came to bits. You could sort of rearrange things. It had secret compartments and all. So it was a really, really nice playset. I did like that. Came with a lot of minifigures as well. So that was something that's been doing very, very well. And another set I bought, 80024, is the Legendary Flower Fruit Mountain. Again, recommended £150 in the UK, and that's selling anywhere between £200 and £250. Again, a very, very visually appealing set. Even when this first came out, I wasn't really into Monkie Kid, and I sort of saw that and I just thought, regardless of which particular range it's from, it's just a nice set anyway. Had lots of play features on it, lots of minifigures, it visually looked good. I think even if you were into building sort of parts and things, you could almost incorporate the sort of the mountain and the waterfalls into other Lego themes potentially. So it had a lot going for it, and again, not very long since it's retired, but it's already sort of gone up £50 to £100 in value in the UK since it retired. So I think that is a set that could do quite well. I think it probably does feature quite heavily in the cartoon series as well. I did only get one of those, unfortunately, but you know, one's better than none, so I'm pleased to at least have one of those. And another one I saw that had done very, very well, which I was quite surprised about, was set 80028. Not a set that I bought, but it's called the Bone Demon. That had a recommended retail price of £90. There was only one sale on eBay, but that had sold for a sealed at £170. So very, very good, almost double in price. Now I wasn't particularly keen on this set. I sort of looked at it and thought, why would that be appealing? I didn't quite understand. Maybe it was in the cartoon, maybe it's just that rare that people just didn't buy it at the time. Who knows, but for whatever reason that particular set has done quite well. Most of the other sets that retired in 2021 and 2022 have done okay. Most of them are returning some kind of a profit, but it's generally quite small. You're probably looking at 15 to 20% profit on most of the smaller sets at the moment. So once you incorporate eBay fees and post and packing, you're not going to be making an awful lot of profit on those. One thing to mention, of course, as well, is if, for example, you have able to sell on Amazon, I think these would probably sell for higher prices on Amazon just because they are so rare and difficult to get. Amazon themselves don't sell these directly from Amazon, certainly not in the UK. So if you are able to sell your sets on Amazon, then you probably will be able to ask for a slightly higher price than maybe the eBay sell prices. So bear that in mind as well. But I think for most people who buy Lego, if you're going to be selling on eBay or brick festivals like I do, then I think you need to be looking at the similar kind of prices that I've already mentioned so far. Just a couple of other sets I wanted to mention as well. So these two sets are on the retiring list for 2023. However, when I looked on the Lego.com website, they are both already showing as retired products. And they are set 80033, which is the evil Mech, I think that's pronounced. I do apologise if that's wrong. That had a recommended retail price of £60, and already that's selling on eBay for £80 to £90. So you're sort of making sort of 40 to 50% profit on that straight away. So again, I think it was, as mechs go, I think it was quite a decent looking set, and I think that's why it's done well. But yeah, I don't think you can even get these in Lego stores. I want to have a look and see if any local Lego stores in the UK have got either of these two sets, because I think I might try and get one or two, but certainly online they're classed as retired. The other set is 80034. Nezza's Fire Ring, recommended retail price of £70, and this is going on eBay. eBay sold at 95. So again, a small profit. And again, I think these probably must have only retired maybe at the start of the year. It does say on the Brick Fanatics website that these are retiring in December, but according to the Lego website, these have already retired. So interesting that these two particular sets have already retired, and they're also doing okay on the secondary Lego market. So what is my sort of overall synopsis of this particular theme? I think it's not a bad theme. I certainly would not suggest completely overlooking it. Now, depending on what you like to buy, you might just want to stick to certain themes like Star Wars, Harry Potter, maybe City, maybe Icons, Creator, that kind of thing. That's fine. I personally think this is okay. I won't be going sort of deep and heavy on any of the particular sets. I don't think there's anything that's on the retirement list for this year which would do particularly amazing. Maybe this Heavenly Realms could do quite well just because it's such an unusual set, perhaps. But I certainly wouldn't want to be buying sort of lots and lots of these particular sets, just because I think it's going to take a little bit longer, maybe 2 to 3 years, to get a decent return on investment on these sets. Rather than maybe some of the Star Wars sets, which maybe only take maybe about a year to get a sort of a reasonable level of profit on those particular sets. So just bear that in mind. And also, some of the sets are reasonably large. So a lot of the Monkie Kid sets like this set, it is quite a big box. So you've got to think about storage as well. They don't have many sort of really small sets. I say this was about £55 here in the UK, and as I say, it's quite a big set. You know, it's reasonably large. Again, not quite the size of this, but again, you're going to have a bit of space to store these sets. But I certainly think they're quite appealing. For me personally, I prefer Monkie Kid to say, let's say, Lego Ninjago, which has a lot of similarities, but I just think there's something about the Monkie Kid sets which are just slightly more maybe appealing to adults maybe than the Ninjago range, which is a range that I just don't buy just because I'm just not really a fan of it. But for whatever reason, I do like some of these Monkie Kid sets myself, and I think that's another reason why I like to buy them. So keep an eye out on what sets are retiring and when they're retiring, and I certainly think there are some sets there which are potentially worth investing in. There are potentially some duds in there as well, so just keep aware of those ones. But you know, have a look around, see which sets you particularly like. Who knows which ones are going to do well and which ones aren't? But I think for me, it's all right to buy a few of these because I think they could do okay. So anyway, what do you think? Have you bought any Monkie Kid sets yet? Have you bought them to build? Do you like them? Have you bought them for Lego investment? Lego investing. I get my teeth in. Let me know in the comments below. Comments are always much appreciated. Thank you for everybody that does comment on my videos. But that's pretty much it for now. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. But until next time, take care, and I'll see you then. Bye for now.